Researchers in Calgary are examining the use of a popular gaming system in stroke rehabilitation as part of a nationwide study that could lead to improved outcomes for patients. The multi-center study examines the effectiveness of using Nintendo Wii, a virtual reality gaming system that detects a wide range of body movements, in rehabilitating stroke patients who have limited mobility in their upper extremities.
When you have a stroke, an area of the brain dies. And what rehabilitation does is it takes advantage of something called neuroplasticity. So the brain actually rewires itself around that area that's died. And it may do it in a couple ways. It may take advantage of another area of the brain, or it may actually just sprout new connections to try to get around the area that's been damaged, depending on what area has been damaged. And what you want to do is solidify those new connections with thousands upon thousands of repetitions of doing something, like you're trying to learn to ride a bike or trying to learn to play the piano again.
The study looks at the cognitive and motor function of patients who use Wii in the first 3 months after their stroke, compared with patients who use traditional recreational activities such as dominoes, card games, and building blocks.
They start as an inpatient and they get 10 sessions of either an hour of the Nintendo Wii or an hour of therapy with the dominoes or with the Jenga, and we're comparing what their arm function's like after they've done this at the end of the study.
Study participant Art Cunningham had a stroke in April that made it difficult for him to move his left leg and arm. He believes doing repetitive actions, such as bowling using the Wii gaming system, has helped him in his recovery.
I truly believe I benefited from the 2 weeks of the study and participating on the Wii. And what it did was really played to my competitive nature, and it took my mind off of focusing on just the detailed activity of every use of my fingers, my leg. It really put me on using them, but in a distractive manner, and the repetition and the challenge around the competitiveness really helped with being able to gain a lot more movement.
The study is based on preliminary results from a pilot trial, which demonstrated that virtual reality exercises have the potential to improve outcomes for stroke survivors and may be a cost-effective method of improving rehabilitation.
That's one of the main things we want to determine with this trial. If it is better than some of these things that we might have traditionally done, then it's relatively cheap and inexpensive to give someone to do in their home, and we can either go into the home and see how they're doing or bring them back at follow-up. So it's got a lot of advantages over some of the big equipment that we might buy for a traditional rehab gym.
If somebody says, well, move your arm forward, but when I'm here bowling, I'm thinking about this, of course, and then so I put all the effort and exertion about doing it. So I believe I'm pushing the limits of my arm, which needs to be pushed. I would not exert the same thing if they said, well, move your arm forward. I would not have that same level of exertion.